Well, guys, I truly do believe that the undoing of Joe Biden here in 2024 is going to be multiple things. Of course, inflation, and Joe Biden is lying about that to you. He's lying about it completely to you. Inflation is still a major, major problem here. Real wages not going up to actually keep up with inflation. But another massive part of why he's going to be out of the White House come next year, around this time next year, is because of this border crisis. And this border crisis is bad. It's extremely bad. Now, the vast majority of Americans, they actually agree with Republicans when it comes to the border crisis. The border pretty much needs to be shut down. I mean, we have seen these liberal run cities like New York, Chicago, overrun. They don't have any room. Out there in Massachusetts, the governor is asking people to house illegal aliens in their own personal homes. This thing is a disaster, man. And Joe Biden doing nothing about it. Kamala Harris was anointed the border czar, and this woman does nothing about the border. I don't believe she's actually been to the border. Actually, I take that back. I think she went one time, but that was more of a panic reaction because Trump went down to the border. And she didn't even go to the place where the border was a real problem, at least at the time. She went to a safe place in El Paso. I believe at that time, the border crisis wasn't there. But guess what? The border crisis is now in El Paso, man. It's there. And the Democrats, man, they're not winning on this. The American people have made it clear that Democrats are a disaster when it comes to the border. Now, Joe Biden played the game, man. He told you what he was going to do. He told these people to come. And then the border crisis got so bad that Kamala Harris came out and said, don't come, which is really just code word for come, because apparently they didn't get the memo to not to come. Out here in Texas, man, there is a massive battle going on between the state of Texas and the federal government. In Eagle Pass, the state has taken over a park where illegal aliens have been crossing over, and they have kicked out the federal government. And as of right now, the Texas government is not compliant. And I don't believe that they actually should. This is our state, our border. And if Joe Biden is not going to protect us, we need to protect ourselves. It's just that simple. Now, let's talk about Charlamagne, man. Because Charlamagne, a big fan of Beijing, Biden, and Kamala Harris in 2020. I mean, this man let Joe Biden punk him on TV and said, hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. No pushback. Charlamagne is an idiot. But Charlamagne seems like he's definitely out on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He said he would not be supporting that ticket in 2024. Now, he is a progressive. He's not a Trump fan whatsoever. But the best way to actually red pill a Democrat or a progressive is to give them what they want. Now, Eric Adams, all these other liberal cities said, hey, with sanctuary cities, come. Please come. We'll take you in. Texas said, you know what? I'll take that bet. Greg Abbott started shipping all of these illegals over there. And guess what happened? These cities like Chicago and New York, they're like, no. We can't take any more. We don't want these people here. Yeah, Democrats are fraud. So Charlamagne, he was absolutely shocked by the feedback he's actually getting from his own viewers. His own viewers pretty much come out and are sounding like MAGA Republicans on the border. We got to watch this clip, guys, so we're going to get into it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Remember, live stream tomorrow just starts at $5 per month. And if you're watching on Rumble, do the same thing by clicking that join button as well. We appreciate the support. So right over here, Fox News. Charlamagne the fraud stunned by a wave of working class people upset over illegal alien crisis. These people are not migrants. I'm not going to use that word. When you come into the country illegally, you are by law an illegal alien. But let's go ahead, listen to our Charlamagne right here. Let's play it.
Have the privilege, man, of doing morning radio and speaking to working class people every single day. I have the privilege of being involved in my community from New York to New Jersey to South Carolina, where I get to look people in the eyes and have real conversations with them, and people are really concerned about this issue. Like I honestly have never spoken to as many people who are concerned about the migrant issue as I have, over the past year. And I mean, I've heard everything from, the gang MS-13, overrunning neighborhoods. I've heard, what we saw just happened in New York City, where the migrants, they took 2,000 migrants and put them in the school and made the school stay home, made the students stay home and do school via Zoom, and that was a big issue. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans, very, very upset with that.
I mean, people were calling the radio station, that was just this week, really, really, really complaining about that. So I've never seen, working class people who I interact with every day until this past year really, really, really express their frustration for the migrants. And it's not even just the people. Like, you see politicians who once, championed having the migrants in the city, like the mayor Eric Adams of New York. Now they're like, yo, hold up. This is too much.
It's a virtue
We've
signal.
heard Vice President Kamala Harris say, "Hey, don't come." Like, we've seen that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a real, real big issue. And immigration, something like immigration will never be resolved because of the filibuster. Like, the only things that pass are issues where they remove the filibuster. So you would need Republicans and Democrats to come together and create some comprehensive immigration reform. But for whatever reason, they don't seem to be able to do that. Of course, he's the president of the United States of America.
Now, right here, in case you guys is listening, the question is, does Beijing Biden bear any responsibility for the crisis? And of course he does.
If he can take credit for the good things that happen in this country, he has to take credit for the bad as well, because those things happen on his watch, And I'm telling you, people are going to go to those sound bites, and they're going to go to those sound bites where they saw, the President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and Mayor Eric Adams and all of these other, liberals and Democrats. They're going to go to those sound bites of them welcoming them into sanctuary cities. And I mean, when Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott pulled that stunt where they were, shipping migrants to these sanctuary cities, dropping them off, right in front of, the vice president's house. As cruel as that was, as inhumane as that was, it was effective. Clearly it was effective, because it made a lot of those Democrats start singing a different tune. And I mean, the voters see that.
Yeah.
The voters see that. And so what does that look like to the voter? Just on the surface, it looks like Republicans were right about the issue and Democrats got it wrong. And now a lot of
Yeah. Right there. You guys heard that right there, man. I believe there's a little bit more here. Let's play it.
Democrats are starting to sound like the Republicans sounded. So it makes a lot of people say, well, damn, Republicans were actually right on that issue. Just on the surface, just plain on the surface, that's how it looks, to the average voter.
Yeah. So you guys see that right there, man. You guys see that right there. And what's what's interesting about that, man, is that that this was the perfect red pill right here. The perfect red pill. Charlamagne wasn't ready for that. He was not ready for that, man. If you would have told him this in 2020, he probably would have thought you were lying. He probably would have thought that, hey, all these Democrats, man, they want illegal aliens in their communities. I could have told you that in 2020 that they don't want that. They don't want that. I don't care if you're actually red or blue, okay? When it comes to these illegal aliens, the people don't want them in their communities, okay? They definitely don't want them in their households, and that's what Massachusetts is trying to push. I highly doubt they're going to find some people to actually bring strangers into their homes. I don't care if the government is actually paying the money. I mean, the government can pay me $5,000 a month to have an illegal alien family here in my home. It ain't going to happen. First of all, my wife ain't going for that. I'm not going to allow strangers into my home. Just not going to happen, man. So, yeah. Democrats, man, Joe Biden's definitely done. This issue right here is going to destroy him. And I believe this issue with the border is probably going to be one of the major reasons why Trump is going to get. I don't know if he's going to win New York, but I'm curious, man, how many people in New York City are actually going to vote for Trump just because of the border? Curious about that. And the people in Chicago, same way, man, they're talking about voting Republican. This is how bad this thing is. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.